Circus, changing rock history one podcast at a time. Hi, moms and dads, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome back to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus once again. My name is Loudini. I am your host, your ringmaster, if you will, for this madness that we call the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. We do it every week, coming at you live on Facebook and YouTube. Right? Are we anyplace else live? No,
We're live here.
Oh, we're live here
in the studio
as well. So feel free to join in, leave comments, say whatever you want. We love to do shout-outs, so please hang out with us. We love it. LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com is our website. All kind of cool shenanigans there. We have merchandise. We have an entire archive of past interviews with indie artists, famous artists. We have a great YouTube archive with tons of videos going back several years. So you could go down the Loudini rabbit hole at LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. You can also, there is where you can become part of our inner circle. This is where you can go and become part of our inner circle. Yeah. And those of you that are getting the shout outs and we're hanging out with live, they know all about that. And you can get in on it too. Find out more at LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. Go to wolfscustoms.online or find them on social media. Why? I'm wearing my Wolf's Customs t-shirt right now. No. Yes, while they do sell merchandise like t-shirts, etc., that is not why I'm talking about them. Because anybody can sell a t-shirt.
Right.
Even I can sell a t-shirt. I sell t-shirts. So, there's nothing about that. What they do, though, is do magic with your musical instrument. Get your mind out of the gutter.
I was going to say something.
I got to do magic on my instrument. Oh, my gosh. You pay extra for that. All joking aside, awesome refinishing, artwork, totally unique stuff on any musical instrument that you have. So check them out, wolfscustoms.online. Find them on social media. Chris Thunderwolf Dodson, give you a shout out there, brother. And rockrageradio.com is the hub for amazing music-related content 24/7. You go to rockrageradio.com, you download the free app, then you never have to go like a .com again. I know like the young folks, we grew up with like going to somebody's .com. That's where's the app or where's it on social media? So you go to rockrageradio.com and you download what kind of app is it, Lily?
Free.
The free app. You download the free app and you can have great music programming like this show right here 24/7. No, it's not the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus 24/7, but it's programming like that. Actually, there's nothing like the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. I take it back. But there's a lot of cool stuff there. Anyways, that's not this, including Hot Licks
with Lily Six.
What is that all about, Miss Lily?
That is on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the free app, as Lou said, and I do a lot of things. But I play mostly unsigned bands and some mainstream bands, and here comes some weirdness that's going to happen. And I also conduct band interviews. And that didn't work at all. That was disappointing. There it is.
It was a little stuck.
It was constipated.
Just a little.
It had to pop out.
There it goes.
There we are.
There it is.
Okay,
feels good.
It's all working out. Let it out. Let it out. Sometimes in life you just gotta let it out.
I do all the time.
Let it all hang out.
I do that all the time too.
Yeah. So Lily V6 from Rock Rage Radio, we do have here in the house with us. We switch dates for you guys watch us live because we want to have Lily here. I feel like if we don't have Lily, it's like Howard not having Robin. It's like Batman not having Robin. Well,
right?
He didn't.
No, it is.
I had a good excuse this week.
It's like Batman not having Alfred.
Oh,
okay, there you go.
That's a thing. I'm an old man.
There you are. So Lily V6 is in the house, as well as Mr. Pittsburgh. What's up, Mr. Pittsburgh?
Hello, everybody.
What have you been up to this week, Mr. Pittsburgh?
A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Oh, so here, I know, just to show you how I know winter's coming, went down to the laundromat to do my laundry.
Went down to the laundromat to do my something. What are you doing?
Went down to the laundromat, and the older fellow, and Lou, you're from Canonsburg for a long, long time. The old guy that wears the cowboy hat.
Yes.
He was actually wearing like a knitted cap. So I knew winter was coming. He has turned in his cowboy hat.
I turned in my baseball cap for a knitted cap, for a skull cap.
There you go.
Today was really the official day of that.
Yep. It's cold. Cold and damp.
You know, I had some young lady come into my office today and try to tell me and my assistant that we were getting 2 to 7 inches of snow tonight.
She is high.
Absolutely.
No, she said, no, you misunderstood
I
her.
reached for my phone to look it up. I'm like,
No.
I know this is bullshit. But
you-
eventually later on, I did look it up, and it's like there's going to be like a half an inch of precipitation
Sir,
tomorrow.
you
Probably more
misunderstood her.
rain.
She came in and said she was getting plowed tonight with 2 to 7 inches. You misunderstood her completely, sir.
Well,
What a
she
range.
was there with her mother, and she was about 14 years old, so
Oh.
I don't think that was probably going to happen.
Okay,
Oh.
maybe I was mistaken. Sorry about that. Exactly.
Bones Magoo is in the house. Yeah. Blink
Yeah.
twice if you love Bones Magoo. All
There you
right.
go.
Okay, everybody.
Wow.
And I know that Miss Lily
Uh-huh.
has done some interesting stuff. You saw an awesome show last night.
I did
too.
see an awesome show last night, which is why we didn't do the show last night because everybody was there. I went to see Michael Schenker Group at
Nice.
Jurgles, opened by Eric Martin of Mr. Big and Images of Eden, who is a great new up-and-coming band that everybody should check out.
How was Eric Martin?
Eric Martin's set was quite boring, I'm not going to lie. Sounded great, but it was just...
Was he acoustic?
No,
Oh.
it just sounded blah.
Yeah.
I didn't even get any photos.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Wow.
I know, I'm probably in
That's-
trouble for that one.
Yeah, the litmus test, yes.
Yeah. You can tell. I think, honestly, I think there's an example. Here is
Yes.
a podcast topic. Maybe we'll do this next month. Bands where, like, the main guy is not the singer.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And there are, so I think that, like, you could make a case for, like, Mr. Big, like,
Sure.
Eric Martin could kind of be interchangeable as long as you got Billy Sheehan and Paul Gilbert.
Right.
You have Mr. Big. I think. So I think that there's a case made that there are certain bands like where.
You're right.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Rush is an example. Kind of maybe Neil Peart. He's most famous. Like even people that aren't quite sure who or what a Rush is have
Right.
heard a lot. If they know some of my music, have heard of Neil
Yep.
Peart.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
And the other thing I did was go to the second annual Resurrection Island Tattoo Convention in Wheeling, West
You
Virginia.
said erection.
No. Yes.
Resurrection, where I got to cover
That's the
two
best kind of
bands.
erection.
I know. Altered States and Never Wake, two great bands. Yes.
Coming back from the dead.
There was a burlesque show, tattooing all weekend. That suspension hanging, which was really tough for me to watch. It was making me sick. The girls were hanging from their butt cheeks.
Was it only flesh? Was it the
No,
only
it was
flesh?
not only flesh. No, it was not Ravina. It was.
Lou and I have seen them.
Yeah, I've seen them many
They're very
times. I'm good friends
interesting.
with Rev, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was very interesting. It was
Wow.
making me kind of sick. There was a sideshow where
I
guys
should
were-
have the band the Swingin' Johnsons play. I'm sorry.
There it is. There was a guy who put hooks into his eye sockets and lit bricks.
Oh, jeepers.
And then this little dancing group called the Monster Dolls who dress up like Frankenstein and Dracula and all that, and they do a little
Nice.
sort of burlesque kind of thing. It's cute, but it was a good time.
I'm just wondering if this is a time for me to
Yes.
talk about something that I've never talked about, but I don't think that
You're
it is.
Prince Albert?
I'm actually Prince Albert. And I'm in a can. Let me out.
Wow.
No. Let's. I saw, and Lily did see, and we're just going to say it. If you haven't seen Halloween Ends, we're not going to I'm not going to talk about the plot or anything like that. If you haven't seen Halloween Ends, you might want to come back, go watch it, and come back, listen to the rest of the podcast. But I'm not going to actually spoil anything about the plot or anything that happens in the movie. I'm just going to say this: it was a fucking giant duty on the screen.
It was a disappointment.
It was just like exactly.
Oh, boy.
Thank you.
To be fair, I did like the first half of it, but after one thing happened, I'm like, oh god, I had to stop watching.
Oh my god! It was like.
I had to stop watching. Like I was telling the guys, Kenny and I had to keep taking breaks for smoking because it could not hold our attention long enough.
Lots of soliloquies about you know moralizing over BS it kind of reminded me of Twilight with the
Ooh.
romance between the
Yeah.
things I was like boy it was just like oozed like cheese. Like, what are you doing, Dad? Like, I was waiting for like that to be like they were gonna do something, like it was gonna pull back and turn out like there was a movie within a movie, and the real Halloween was kind of like happening like in the background.
Right,
They were gonna
right.
do something really neat with that. You know what I mean?
But
no,
Not so much.
no. It was just like there is it's not Halloween. At the very very end, it becomes Halloween for a little while, but pretty much it's not. In my opinion, it's not even. Halloween 3: Season of the Witch is a better Halloween movie than this piece of garbage. Absolutely. That's actually a real horror movie. This is like, I was saying, this is like a psychological thriller that's not very psychological and not thrilling.
Yeah, about 15 minutes of the film was a Halloween movie.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, there you go. So what else? Oh, and I did see a really awesome movie.
Yes, do tell.
I'm going to tell you about it right now.
Please do,
This
I'm
is a movie
waiting.
I believe that came out in 2021. It's Finnish.
Oh.
Well, I'm glad it's done because
I
why would
know.
you want to start a
I
movie
know.
that's
Gary
not done?
Matassa was just like, he said, I don't know. I watch a lot of movies. I don't know if I can get it finished.
You guys all share the same dad joke brain. You all share the same brain.
Yeah, basically.
So, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by myself. It's a movie called Hatching, excuse me.
Oh.
It's Finnish. It's really neat. There's a lot of like layers to it, a lot of ins and outs about this case. Man, it's got a lot. It's got a lot. It's very layered. It's twisted. It's a good horror movie. There's some, I think, very good practical effects
Okay.
in it as well. But don't go into it with like it's a monster movie. It is, but it really isn't. There's a lot more going on. It's got a heart. There's humor in it. There's screwy sex shit going on.
Oh, well, that's
like,
every movie.
It's. I thought it was a really good time, and you're in and out in 1 hour and 26 minutes.
Okay,
Nice.
there you
In
go.
and out.
Quick and dirty.
In and out.
That's how I like them.
Bit the old in and out, eh?
I'm finding that the shorter the movie,
Yeah.
so.
This is where
I
you're
think
at.
that there's a time for like the long epic thing, you know what I mean? You can't shorten Lawrence of Arabia or, whatever. But there is something to be said for like certain kind of, it just does not have to be obnoxiously long.
Right.
I agree.
But yeah, so those that was my sort. I'm watching nothing but horror
All month.
at all. That's all I'm doing is just watching horror. I'm not keeping any kind of score or anything like that.
Whoops.
But I've been trying to tell you guys the highlights.
Yeah.
And I watched a fun one from my youth.
Which
Your
one?
youth?
My youth.
What'd you watch?
It's Stephen King's Cat's Eye.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
It's really fun. It's not, don't go into it like, it's the kind of movie, Keith's like, you're not scared. No, it's
No,
not.
but it's good.
It's like a fun, and it's good for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
We went to see it. It was one of the few movies that the entire family went to see together. And it was super fun. All of us liked it. My dad liked it. My mom liked it. Me and Paula liked it. We were, we all had our favorite parts that we talked about in the car on the way home and everything. So I had it's like a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
But I was actually surprised by actually how good it actually is. It's just fun.
I have
It's
to
just
watch
fun.
that again.
It's not not nothing. And there are some very good effects from that era. They're like, wow,
Okay.
like
All
not
right, then.
not
I see
bad,
what you did
pretty
there,
cool.
yeah.
So this is just some of the highlights of what I've been doing.
Very good, sir.
So I like to keep you guys. So we're going to get into the topic, which is album covers.
Yes.
Now, there's kind of a theme with mine.
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't do that.
No. It wasn't intentional.
Okay.
Wasn't intentional at all. Mine are all twisted me up. 3 out of 4 at least twisted me up because of my extremely religious upbringing.
I
Okay.
see.
And so I saw these
All right.
album covers at a period in my life when I was truly way more. I was way more of a traditional Christian. I'm not saying I'm not a Christian. I'm just saying I was more of a traditional with his exact kind of beliefs and very zealous. That's the other.
Yes, there you go.
I was very zealous. So when I go through mine, that's a lot of the reasons why they scared me.
All right then.
And I pulled up a list from the internet with some we can toss around and just have some fun with. But so mine are just personal. I didn't try to pull them off of any kind of list. They were just personal. So
all right then.
Okay, what we are going to start as always with our lovely Lily, the lovely and talented Lily V6.
I love how you say talented. Like, what's my actual talent?
First of all,
we've heard rumors.
Hope they were all good.
I will say honestly, Lily, I think you have a good voice for radio. I think you sound good.
Thank you. Actually, I got that compliment over the weekend. Some guy hitting on me. I told him what I did. He's like, "You sound like a radio person." I'm like, "All right, shut your whore mouth." Anyway.
He wants to be a whore with you.
Oh, yes. You should have heard the line. You want to go back to my room or I'm coming back to yours? You're going to sit here and be alone.
Yeah.
Anyway, the first one I picked was Korn by Korn, released in 1994. The cover shows Paul punches his niece in a blue school uniform with a matching bow and blonde hair. She's on a swing. There's a really creepy guy with a shadow.
Oh, that is a good one. Yeah, with the shadows.
Yeah. She's like squinting to see who the guy is. He looks super creepy. He looks like he has blades in his hands. That just creeps me out because, like, I'm just thinking, and she actually looks like she's hanging in the background.
Do you have any
interesting,
like information on like why they chose the cover or anything?
I don't have that new.
Some of these you can't.
Yeah,
there's really nothing. Yeah.
So, anyways, cool.
So that one creeps me out.
I saw that and I'm like, oh, that is good.
That's a good. So what do you got, Mr. Pittsburgh?
So I have my friends and yours, the lovely and talented AC/DC. The reason. What?
ABCD.
ABCD. CBGB. And the reason I picked this one, it's my first one, is I remember seeing this in the record store and going, oh my God. Oh my God. And that would be the album, If You Want Blood, You Got It.
Yeah.
Just to describe it for you folks at home, it's the boys on stage, and Angus has a guitar right in his chest. I mean, it's like
he's
pierced him.
He's kind of
impaled. He's impaled by it, and I'm like, I remember seeing that, going, "Oh my God!" Yeah. Again, not much on why they chose that album cover, but I just remember seeing it as a young person, and again, much like Lou, I was very religious, and to see something like that, you're like, that's not Keith Green. That's not a Keith Green album.
I remember seeing that album cover. It didn't really scare me. I actually was like, these guys are really trying to like say, like rock and roll. Yeah, it's evil. We're just putting it out there. And it was like, and I thought it was kind of tongue in cheek. Like I thought they were going like, everybody says, rock is like evil, whatever. So let's just, that's why I believe the album is called If You Want Blood. I think it's a kind of like, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
You think our music is fucking evil? Well, here you go.
You win.
You win. If you want blood, you got it now.
Nice.
That's iconic album covers. It didn't really scare me, but this one scared the living crap out of me.
I know this one.
Now I'm going to set the stage here. Okay, and I remember when I first saw this.
Yes.
I was going to Christian school. I was in like junior high-ish age, maybe 8th, maybe 9th grade.
Okay.
And I was super immersed in that whole Christian culture.
Yeah.
I went to Christian school, and it was at the mall after school, and I wasn't supposed to be looking or like the secular music in the record store. We're supposed to go to the Christian bookstore. But we wandered around and ended up over there, and we were kind of like having some fun, looking through albums. And I turned around and I was doing the thing where you thumb. Okay, there were records, actual albums, and you would thumb through them. I don't know if people. How can I describe this on a podcast?
I know, right?
It's like it's like a card key at the library. They don't know what that is.
You don't know.
So anyways, you would thumb through the albums, and they were in alphabetical order, and so you could kind of get lost. Mm-hmm. It was super fun to do. People go into record stores and just browse for hours. But anyways. I was, kind of like, ooh, okay, this is naughty, secular music. I'll just take a peek, It's just like, we'll just put the tip in. So as I was putting the tip in, I came across this album, Abominog? Yeah, Abominog.
It's Abominog. Yeah.
Abominog by Uriah Heep.
Wow.
And I immediately gathered whatever I had with me and left the store. I was like praying that the Lord would forgive me.
Yes.
And I just felt like it was a sign, like this is really evil music.
Yes.
But anyways, if you've never seen the cover, anybody's listening, you could look these covers up.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. We have links in the show notes as well. But I don't know what it is. That's a demon.
It's
to me,
a demon.
That's a demon.
It's freaky.
Oh boy.
And it is really,
It's mean.
it's like top of the line, Steven Spielberg-esque special effects kind of done thing. It's not real, but it
It's good.
if there was a demon that really showed up, that could easily be what it looks like.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good illustration.
It's terrible teeth that look, they're gonna tear you apart. It's just awful. awful. And I was a young person, and it just freaked me the fuck out. But this is by a band that we should do maybe we'll do, where we do those things where people what about this band? And
Where are they
we
now?
we're kind of where they're now, where we did the Jefferson.
Yeah. Okay,
that's where we
yeah.
pick those kind of bands. Night Ranger, that's kind of middle of the road,
For sure.
kind of, not superstars or whatever happened, I think maybe we should do one where we break it up with 3, and Kevin does one, you do one, and I do one.
Yep.
But on my list would be Uriah Heep, because it's one of those bands that's kind of mysterious to me. I don't really know much about them. My first encounter with them was this, and I thought this has to be the most evil satanic band ever. I don't want anything to do with them, so I was like, goodbye. But it's their 14th studio album. It came out in 1982.
Yeah.
They have a lot of records. This is a band with a lot of lineup changes and a lot of evolution. But what's interesting about them was they were a band that started out their whole thing was this mythology. And they made up their own mythology, kind of like J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, those people did. So they have a lot of songs that tell some story about characters that you don't really know about, but they create the characters. It's pretty fucking cool. I would give I perused a little bit. I'm going to get into a little bit more, but it's something to just kind of check out, and you might like it, or you might just enjoy it for a just for the appreciation of it.
Right.
Just to try it out. But a lot of people came through this band, including Lee Kerslake, who went on to play on Blizzard of Oz.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And what's the follow-up? Blizzard of Oz, and it had Flying High Again on it. Somebody help me out.
This is not one I know.
Okay, it's not one. That's just his second album. In any case, he played on both those albums and wrote a bunch of those songs. So he comes out of this thing. So this was so they're kind of an interesting band. They're a British band. You might want to check them out. But if you've never seen the cover, go and look at it. It's
It's definitely
this is good. It's right
freaky.
Now I look at it, I go this would be awesome in a horror movie.
Right.
But at the time, and where I was coming from psychologically, I mean, it was horrifying. Okay, so that's mine. We go back to Lily.
Okay. So you guys know what my biggest fear is, yes? We've talked about this about 1,000 times.
Yep.
You're going to pull it up there?
I'm just going to try to, but go ahead.
Anyway, it's clowns. So
Send in the
Bruce
clowns.
Dickinson's Accident of Birth from 1997 has a jester clown on the cover. So this is why I chose this one. Yeah. There's actually 3 different versions of it.
Oh, this is on some people's lists on the internet, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is supposed to be Eddie's son, Edison, from Iron Maiden.
Son Edison.
A Grim Reaper is
I
also.
get it.
There's a Grim Reaper in it, faintly visible in the background. You get that thing out of here. There are 4 versions of the album cover. Originally, the artwork showed Edison graphically bursting from a man's stomach.
Oh.
But some people didn't like that. U.S. said no to that one, so we don't have that one here. But basically, they just created Eddie's son into a clown, and I'm really disturbed by it. It makes me not even Iron Maiden. So I'm like a little mad about it, actually.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking earlier about movies, and there's some really terrifying clown movies.
Yes, I know.
The
Terrifier.
The Terrifier is one of them.
But I'll watch it every time.
The Terrifier.
Wow.
There's well, of course, Pennywise is like
Sure.
that's a great character from Stephen King.
Scary.
So there's some. I watched one where a guy. They're like selling somebody's house, like their great aunt's house, and he finds a clown costume in the house, and I think it's called Clown. It's just called Clown. It's like it's an indie film, and so he puts his costume on, and it won't come off.
Oh
And
boy.
it's
Fuck
adhered
that.
itself to his body.
Yep.
It's creepy.
No.
It's really
Why would
well.
that?
It's one of those like they used their budget like in the best way possible and made something that was like totally worthwhile watching.
Exactly.
But yeah. So there's a lot of people hate clown. I'm not. Oh. The fucking thing in Poltergeist.
Oh.
I've seen that movie
Yep.
a dozen times at least. Man, I
It's
freaking
still.
That little clown.
I like being scared, but sometimes it's just a little too far.
When you bring clown in the mix.
No, thank you.
I ain't going too far. Bringing the clown in now.
You have to literally push me through the haunted house when there's a clown section, because I won't move. I'm like up at the door like this.
The clown section.
Circus section, whatever. You know what
Clown
I'm saying.
section. That would be hilarious.
Who had I remember seeing it, but I didn't put it down on my list. Who had John Wayne Gacy's painting?
Oh, I forget.
Is it the Misfits?
You're right. Somebody did. We'll have to,
Yeah.
we could probably.
We'll look it up.
It's a shame we have no way we could like
I
look that
know.
up.
I'm
you
not
know?
getting off.
I'm gonna get my encyclopedia out. I'll figure it out by the time we're done. Yeah, that was gonna be on my list, and I'm like, really, is that scary?
Here's an idea
It can be for people.
here's an idea for a metal band to do.
Yeah.
Tour when you do shows, have an entire section with like 50 clown like fucked up evil nasty
No!
clowns, like just like screaming and yelling shit at the audience and like throwing clown shit at them.
I'll just fucking die while I'm there.
you're
No big
playing
deal.
like really hard metal.
No.
Like really, really heavy metal.
No.
Oh man, I'm telling you, people would eat that shit up.
But I have a cool idea for a band. All serial killers, because you said Gacy. Like do Warnos and the Night Stalker, Zodiac,
go.
Dahmer. Be some sort
Sure.
of kind of like parody band almost, you know.
By the way, the band was Acid Bath.
That's it.
Okay.
Yes.
Acid Bath had that. I think there might be other ones. but
Was that the
that's-
one you? Is that your?
That's
pick?
the one I was thinking.
Acid Bath.
Yeah, we'll go with that for my pick because I did think about that one.
Okay, you know what? Can I?
Yes.
I think that we should go to Google, and
Uh-oh.
because there has to be some kind of story behind that.
There is, and I can't remember what it is.
Well, you know, it's a podcast about that, so maybe we
Oh.
should tell people about it.
Oh, that's an idea. Have you heard Acid Bath?
I have.
Yeah, I actually kind of like it. Don't tell anybody.
Oh, I like it.
All right then.
It's okay. I won't.
Because we're well, okay. Thanks.
It's coffee, so
It is very.
that's
gothic,
why I
yeah.
like it.
They classify their sound as death rock.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
sure.
Mhm.
That
Sammy
sums it
Duet
up.
described their sound as gothic hardcore.
Yeah.
Okay.
They broke up after their bassist died in a traffic accident in 1997.
That's a shame.
I really, is there anything about this album cover? I really want to know about it.
Go to the actual discography and find the album.
I
and
think
then
this is the album, is it? No,
Oh.
not.
I don't think so. Is it? No.
Acid Bath album.
There you go.
Nope, that's not the
That's
album.
not the one.
No.
Which album was it?
It's
Can't find it.
Kite String Pops is the debut album of the American sludge metal band Acid Bath, released on August 8th, 1994. It is considered an underground classic. The album's artwork is a self-portrait made by notorious serial killer John Wayne. I just want to say John Wayne Gacy while in prison awaiting execution. Huh. I don't know why they picked it.
I don't know why. I guess
don't
we'll
know.
die.
Oh my God. Stop.
There was an old lady
Yeah.
who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. I guess she'll die.
That's
Ridiculous.
beautiful. Did you write that?
We had this record when we were kids called Wacky Winners.
Ah.
And it had that song on it. It had Alley Oop. Some like they had the Unicorn song. It had Purple People Eater. So it was always kind of like silly songs. But are we good on this one? Or
Yeah, I'm just checking to see if we
there's
can
nothing
find
really
anything.
more.
Okay, you're all good.
Oh, I think that's one. Okay,
You
never mind.
okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you need do you need a nap or?
No, I was trying to see if there's why they picked that particular. Doesn't say.
Bill Damiano, does clown shit smell funny? You know what? Enough.
Oh, Bill. Bill, you silly man.
Enough with the clowns.
Sir,
children.
please, somebody stop.
That
him.
deserved 4 squeaks, Bill.
Yep.
Just for you. Honky said,
I'm
go
leaving.
Right on with the clown jokes.
I don't want to clown joke.
News of the World by Queen.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So
This
episode of
was
Family Guy.
terrifying to me. This was before I was anything, really. I saw this when I was very young.
Mm-hmm.
Came out in 1977, so I was 10 years old.
You were a youngster.
So I wasn't even really
baby.
thinking about even music at the
Right.
time. However, what was happening was Mom would go to Kmart. And I didn't want to go do her thing in Kmart. So she'd be like, okay, we'll just hang around like the toys and stuff like that. And I was into the models, like
Yeah.
I like models and
Yes.
stuff like that. And after a while, I found myself gravitating to the record albums. I started kind of getting interested in records and things like that, hearing music. My cousins were listening to stuff. And I was doing the same thing. I was thumbing through, and I saw this thing, and I was shocked and horrified at this artwork. I didn't even know what to think about it. It's so evocative. Anyway, so it's News of the World by Queen. It's a great album. It's a classic album. We Will Rock You. We Are the Champions. It's an amazing album. All Dead is a great song. Sheer Heart Attack, I think, is on that. It's a great album, but the cover depicts this robot that might be a robot that you would see depicted in maybe very early pulp magazines and things like that. We're talking maybe 1930s,
Right.
sort of thing. Imagine a sort of weirdly transgendered Iron Giant.
Okay.
There you
yeah,
go.
Okay.
That's a good way to
That's
say that.
and it's got these human beings in its grasp. It has these it's ginormous, and it has these metal hands that you could tell they can't do anything but fuck shit up. And they've got the band. What I'm assuming was the band, like in there, and they've got them crushed, and it's bloody. And I was like,
What the hell?
yeah, and it's very evocative. You could tell that like there's a story here. Like I knew that there was like this is depicting some kind of like, scene from some kind of novel or something. And it's amazing, but it's so disturbing. The look on this robot's face is just like, it has a lot of emotion. It's like a look of like, what the picture looks like is like, he's holding these poor people up and looking up in the air like, like, oh fuck, did I break it? And they're like bloody and.
You broke it.
And there's like blood dripping off his other hand. It's really, and I'm sure for adults probably, or kids in high school, probably like, oh, wow, dude, this is really awesome. But as somebody who's 10 years old and very naive,
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, I thought this was like horror movie type stuff, and I didn't want anything to do with it. But I knew it was good. It was one of those things like I would walk by it and I would like try to look at the corner of my eye. I'm like, don't look at it.
Ooh.
Don't look at it. Don't look at it. I swear, it gave me nightmares.
There's a whole Family Guy episode based around Stewie being afraid of this album cover. I don't know if you knew
Wow,
that.
I did not know
Yes.
See, you're not alone, Lou. You and Stu,
that. There was a different cover for Korea that still has the robot on it, but it's a different it's like a different picture.
They probably didn't allow the death.
Yeah, they may have. I know. Yeah, different countries have things about.
They're weird about it.
Are weird about things like that. So yes, the songs are "We Will Rock You" and "We Are the Champions," of course. "Sheer Heart Attack,"
Yes.
"All Dead," "Spread Your Wings," "Fight from Inside," Get Down, Make Love. That's a kick-ass jam. Good record. Sleeping on the Sidewalk, Who Needs You, It's Late, Melancholy Blues, which is just John Deacon and Freddie.
Nice.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So, you know.
There you go.
It's back when, like, bands were almost kind of expected to kind of do
something
a little
something
different.
out of the ordinary.
Put something different on your album.
Exactly.
Everybody did it. It was completely. People would talk. People liked that stuff too. No, it didn't get on the radio, but if you bought the album, you would kind of go, "That's of note." You know,
Yeah.
It's interesting. So, enough about that bullshit. What do you have, Lily V6?
So my next one on my list is a Cannibal Corpse one, because that was going to make the list regardless, because
course.
all of their album covers are really freaky. But this one, it's called Butchered at Birth, released in '91.
Jesus Christ.
And literally, there's these two skeleton zombie things butchering.
I've seen it
Yeah.
many times. Oh, yeah.
Butchering a woman, they're pulling, looks like a baby out of her. There's hanging babies behind it. So this one's like really freaky. I don't have any background on this at all. This is just the kind of imagery they have on all of their albums because they like the shock value. It has nothing to do with anything. They don't hate religion. They are not satanic. They just like the grossness.
It's fun.
Is basically what they go for.
It's fun.
That looks like the scene out of some kind of like Dario Argento.
Yes,
Right?
for sure.
Did I tell you guys I saw? I was watching a horror anthology called Two Evil Eyes. It's filmed in Pittsburgh. It's got two stories. The first story is directed by George Romero.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay. The second one though is directed by Dario Argento.
Oh.
Very
And
cool.
he directs it in Pittsburgh.
Nice.
Wow.
I like it.
And Harvey Keitel is in it. And there's a scene where you said, I don't know, somebody said impaired or impaled.
Impaled.
And there's a scene where he
no.
he falls, he's like being killed, and they drop him from this high height onto a giant spear. And it goes right up his poop hole and comes out his mouth.
Yay.
That hurts. I hate when that happens.
Now
Yeah.
that didn't bother me, but the scene where
he actually liked that.
the
But go
scene-
ahead, Lou.
The scene where he actually has a gallows and kills a cat, I'm like, I can't watch it. I turned it
Yeah,
right off.
no, legit.
I
Hey,
could not watch
what
it.
the way?
So I'll never know what happens in that story, but
Wow.
but that made me, when
Right
I
up
said
the-
Dario Argento, that made me
Right
think
up the
of that.
poop chute, you say.
Up the poop chute.
Up the poop chute.
Why the
and
poop
out
shooters?
his mouth.
All right, tomorrow we're gonna have the poop shooters out at Jurgle.
So in that case, that guy was talking shit. Thank you, everybody.
Oh boy.
shooting shit,
He's up the poop chute, not the mouth.
poop shooting shit.
That's a bad
All right,
name.
yeah, poop shooting the shits. There's a poop shooting the shits. Oh, I got to put that on my list.
Write it
Oh
down.
my
Hold
God.
on,
Write it
that
down,
goes on
everybody.
the list right now.
Yeah.
Podcast or not. So for those of you that don't know, I keep a list. Every time I think of something like kind of crazy, that would be like, I think would be a funny band name.
Yep. Goes on the list.
It goes on the list. I just
It's going to be
have
part
do
of
it.
Lou's coffee table book. Names.
I'll do the illustrations.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
boy.
top note is movies. The second one is these band names.
There you go.
That's
But you never know.
hysterical.
You might need one. How many times have you heard of bands about what do we want to call
Exactly.
ourselves? You know what? Call Loudini. He's got
He
a
has all the
list.
answers.
He's got a list for you guys and gals.
Maybe we could do something with this.
I'm telling you.
Like maybe we could.
It's
I don't know. We could
podcast
create
gold.
like. We could put it. Look at the kind of thing we could put on our like if we do not OnlyFans, what's the Patreon or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and we could have like behind a paywall, like have people like create like logos and artwork for,
That would be
for these
fun.
bands, you know, just for fun.
Yeah.
So poop, shoot, and the shits.
Shits.
That's fantastic.
There you go.
I can't.
Oh, I am Loudini.
There you go. You're
What
brilliant.
do you think you are? Loudini. Oh, okay.
Oh,
In that
all right, never
case,
mind.
carry on.
All right, gotcha.
You fucking weirdo. Speaking of fucking weirdos,
Hey, everybody.
we have Mr. Pittsburgh.
All right. Well, so my next one is one of yours also. So we can both talk about
Well,
it.
of course.
All right. This is the
You can't do mine. That's not fair. I'm going to talk about that one.
Sorry.
You two need punched in the face.
Stop hitting me. Stop punching me. You know it.
Nobody touch
That's on my list,
anybody.
too.
Oh, yeah.
ever
Oh, it's on
again.
Lily's list, too. So there you go.
What do you got?
It's the 1966 release, Yesterday and Today.
We all have
The
it on
Beatles.
our list.
We
yeah.
do.
Yeah. Yesterday and Today is remembered primarily for the controversy surrounding its original album cover, rather.
You don't even know what you're
dyslexic.
saying.
Known as the Butcher cover, it was taken. It was taken by photographer Robert Whitaker and shows the band dressed in white coats and covered with decapitated baby dolls and pieces of raw meat. I see no problem with this.
It looks like, though, it looks like dead babies.
Yeah, it's weird.
There's baby dolls, but there's like blood and crap smeared around them.
Right.
So it's not
But
like,
look, no.
it isn't that innocent.
Listen, in the Beatles' defense, they're all smiling. Like the Beatles are. The baby dolls
they're
aren't.
British.
But
That's
they're,
all they
like,
do.
they're like, look, we're having fun with dead baby dolls. But yeah, apparently that didn't go over too well. Although the photo was intended to be part of a larger work critiquing the adulation afforded the Beatles, the band members insisted it was a statement against the Vietnam War. Wow.
Yeah, apparently they took hundreds of photos.
That's all you
Yeah.
have to say.
Yeah.
All you could. No, it's a
You're like,
statement against the
oh,
war.
oh,
that's
it's
true.
all
Everybody's
right
cool.
then.
You're fine. No worry.
Oh,
No worries. No
boy.
worries.
Oh,
That's like,
boy.
that's like when you do something and you say like to somebody,
No offense.
you're really gaining a lot of weight. No, I'm just
But
saying.
I'm just
I'm
saying.
just saying.
I'm just
You look-
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
That
my
shirt's ugly.
God.
I don't mean anything by it. Well, people say that. I don't mean anything by this, but you're an asshole. Oh, but I don't mean anything by it.
No offense.
Well, in response
Too
to the
late.
retailer's outrage at the gory subject matter, Capitol immediately withdrew the album and replaced the cover image with a shot of the band posed around a steamer trunk.
Oh,
No,
that's
that's
totally
Yeah,
the same.
and it was a steamer, okay.
Dang.
A steamer
Oh
trunk.
my gosh.
That's where you keep your steamers.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Hey, watch
You
out!
Put him in the
watch
trunk.
out there! I put my steamer trunk over. I wouldn't want you to trip over it.
I went to the pool once, had a little accident. I had steamer trunks. Oh boy.
Did you ever see the American Dad when he shits in the pool in front of Obama?
No, I have not seen that one.
Dude,
Is
you
it-
know,
is it
what's
silly?
what's his name? Seth MacFarlane.
Seth
Yeah.
MacFarlane.
Nah, dude, man, he's fucked up. I love that.
A little bit.
That's
Just a little
fucked
bit.
Up shit. Okay, so
So this album, though, when they recalled it and stuff, didn't they put a whole new sticker, like a sticker over? Have you heard this?
No.
So they brought the albums back with the original Butcher cover, right? And then they had literally a sticker of the new album and put it on
put it
top,
top.
right?
Huh?
And those albums, if you can find them, are worth buku dollars.
I'm gonna be looking for that.
I've actually, they're really hard to find. I've actually seen one, and because if you look very close under the sticker, you can see the original cover. And I forget how much they're worth, but they're like lots of money.
Sometimes you can find gems in the wild, though.
That is true. That is true.
Gems in the wild.
Gems in the wild. Tonight on NBC.
So does you want to say anything about your thoughts on this?
On the Butcher.
I'm okay with it, but whatever.
I'm fine.
But why is it on your list?
It's on my list because I think that it would freak other people out. I think it's very cool, but I just, the whole baby and blood and meat.
Yes. In 1966.
And yeah, and the year.
Yeah.
It's kind of seems like that's a wholesome year and not so much about
Yeah.
Cannibal Corpse on the Beatles album.
Oh, imagine Cannibal Corpse. Yeah.
I think. Well, I have another story about this record because it's on my list, and this was one of those things where I was getting into music, but I was had this whole religion thing going on, and I thought, well, the Beatles, like that's a good band, like those guys are
Sure.
make
And
nice
hold my
music,
hand
and
and-
want
yeah,
to they
sure.
want to hold hands,
Yes, that's nice of them.
they work hard, and
8 days a week.
8 days a
They're
week.
working.
Yeah, they can't. They know that they can't buy love. I mean, like,
Sure, they're just
these seem like nice young
nice
men.
lads.
Nice boys.
And then I found out about this, and it really made me wonder, and especially the way it was presented to me when I found out about it. Like, I
Yeah,
didn't
uh-huh.
find out about it from Rolling Stone. I found out about it through the
The
religious
church.
people.
Yeah, exactly.
And it really made me like kind of afraid of the Beatles. I thought, well,
Yeah, you're
maybe
like,
they're
what are
into
they
like
into
they
that?
must really be, I thought that maybe they were making. No, I'm not going to even say that. I'm not going to say that.
What?
I'm not going to say it.
Oh my
I'll sound like
goodness.
such a.
Started it.
I will
Stuart, tell
sound like
Mama
such
what
a-
you think.
I'll sound like
Stuart, tell Mama what you think.
I'll sound like a putz. I'm not going to say. it.
well, you are one, so there's that.
The way it was presented to me was like these babies were sacrifices to the devil.
Okay, that makes sense.
That
That's
makes
not
sense,
weird.
though.
So I was like, I didn't really totally believe that, but I was like, yeah, well, maybe they're into something. They have to be doing something wrong.
Yeah, why would you?
And then we find out bands are all into that weird shit.
Yeah,
So there's
see,
that.
there you go.
I know. So I guess I get to go again.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. So the other one on this one for me is "Born Again" by Black Sabbath.
Oh, praise Jesus.
Exactly. Well, see, again, there's the religion thing because it was, and I Born Again. And again, it was presented to me as this is a sort of like blasphemy of the idea of becoming born again.
Blasphemous.
Exactly. And they did this depiction of, well, this is not nearly as like realistic or
scary.
graphic as the Uriah Heep thing at all.
Right.
But the fact that it's called Born Again, this baby is like a kind of like Rosemary's Baby kind of thing with kind of like claws and fangs and this.
Hope he doesn't breastfeed.
It's weird. Exactly. I always think about that. Like I thought about that in It's Alive, and Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
It's. So you put it in that context for me, it was like I thought, oh wow, man, like yep, Black Sabbath, of course they're they're praying to Satan. They probably have actual demons playing on the album.
Yes. To hear them play it backwards. Satanic panic at the disco. All right.
I look at it now as like it's a piece of really bad art.
Yeah.
But it's on an album that I think gets too much shit. You should listen to this album. It's not. It's pretty cool because Ian Gillan from Deep Purple is the lead singer on this album. Is doing all the vocal leads.
That's cool.
Yeah, so they worked with different singers. They had, they have had Black Sabbath. There's a lot of problems with singers. No, it's just like they just can't. They did eventually reunite the classic lineup, and there's an awesome DVD out there. But so this just kind of like that's kind of what was like. Ooh, this has to be evil, and I was terrified of it. Now I just think that the cover's bad. But the music's okay. It's got a weird production. Like a lot of people have said, like it hasn't the odd sounding kind of production, but it's not without its merit. So if you're a Sabbath person, there's things to appreciate on it. Ian Gillan, like why not? Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not? Guy from Deep Purple singing for Black Sabbath.
There you go.
What can you say about that?
Two great tastes taste great together.
Exactly.
You'd think.
Can you imagine that baby scratching his way out too?
Aye.
Well, Lily. I've heard that the female birth passage is quite hardy.
Hardy, you
Yeah,
say.
but I mean,
I've heard that it can really take a pounding.
At least 2 to 7 inches.
my case more, but that's fine.
Whoa!
We won't talk about that. Sorry. Well, you know what? I gotta counter your nerdery with
I know. Yes, you do.
my stuff too.
So your pussy is that big?
Wow, come
Yes.
on.
No,
not-
I'm saying
ladies and
Kenny's
gentlemen,
is.
what if mom's listening?
She's
Well,
sleeping.
let's not.
Oh, in
I
that
don't-
case.
I don't think we should go naming names of people's things. So let's not go
Oh, please.
there. I didn't. It was funny. Lily goes right there.
Well,
Like she went
I don't
right
care.
there. It was
That's
like
it. No
you
more
had
White
to go
Claw for
right
you.
there. Like that was not really.
it could get worse.
I bet it could.
That's right. We did change the day of the podcast, so Lily would be on.
Oh, boy.
God damn it!
Oh, boy.
No.
Love me.
We're just having some
Oh,
fun.
boy.
But yeah,
You
born
love
again. What do you got?
Born again.
Iron Maiden, Fear of the Dark from 1992. This is Nosferatu is probably to me the most terrifying of all the vampires ever created. And what they did here was create like Nosferatu looking creature coming out of a tree. They were basically what they wanted to do was update Eddie for the 90s, and they wanted to make him less comic booky and a little more like straightforward and threatening. More threatening than the Eddie that we know now. Because people, I guess, started thinking he was starting to get a little too cuddly and cutesy for everybody. But whatever.
Sure.
But this is why they created a new sort of Eddie. They made him, I don't know if you see him coming out of the tree there.
Oh, my. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, he's going to, they had to. Well, isn't it like anything? Like the Universal monsters were like those were horror movies to people.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah,
were
for
scary.
sure.
And then, but with by 10 years later,
Yeah.
they were like Abbott and Costello,
Yeah.
and Frankenstein, and all
The
that.
Munsters.
It's like, oh,
The monsters,
the
the
monsters,
60s. So we needed something else. That's when George Romero came.
Well,
Thanks, George.
Iron Maiden decided they wanted a less comic book version of Eddie, and they created a horror version
Cool.
of Eddie.
It's good.
I like
Yeah.
it, but the Nosferatu scares me. That's the scariest vampire of all the vampires with
Yeah,
his
he's
quietness.
good. He's good. He's a good one.
Speaking of vampires, you guys, Cinemassacre? Do you ever watch Cinemassacre
No.
on YouTube?
No.
It's like one of the oldest YouTube channels.
Oh, really?
It goes I think way before Google.
Wow.
And he's really good. He has like celebrity cachet now. Like he gets famous people on
Oh,
there and
cool.
everything. But he did a program where he took all the vampire movies
Uh-huh.
and then he narrowed them down to anything that had to do with Dracula or Count Dracula.
Okay.
And what he was trying to do was find the Dracula movie that was as absolutely as faithful to Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And,
Okay.
and if you're a horror person, you like Dracula, you like things like that. It's really, really interesting. He
Dracula.
made it very scientific. I'm sure in the comments there was all kind of people that dissed him.
Children
Anyways,
of the
it
night.
looked like it was like a lot of work went into it. But you guys should check it out. It's really interesting. So my list
Help
is
me.
I don't have anything else on my list. Kevin,
I just have one more thing.
Okay.
This is I remember seeing this album and
here we go.
and the artist that did this album was very successful, I thought. Actually, I was a fan of this fella. And when this album came out, it was just so horrific that I knew it was the end of this artist's career, and that would be Peter Frampton's "I'm in You." He's lounging there with his shirt open. I still have nightmares, Lou.
That's on some people's lists.
Fine, I have one like that too.
Oh, in that case,
This.
Oh,
is it?
what's the name of that album?
That is the They Only Come Out at Night.
Oh, by
Edgar
Don't
Winter
come
Group.
out it.
I'm sorry.
That's fucking twisted.
It
as fuck.
freaks me
You like
out.
it.
It's freaky as fuck.
I think I actually
Sexy.
own it too, and I can't
he's
even
very
look at it
sexy as he flies through space
with makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That was my last one.
honorable
list.
mentions for me might be Goat's Head Soup by the Rolling Stones.
yeah. Oh,
yeah, that's
really
very
what the
s-
fuck's
yeah.
That
going
is a
on
scary
there?
one.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of albums of all people, the Drive-By Truckers.
Oh,
that have
yeah.
some real creepy imagery, really well done, like horror artwork. It's really good. Check it out. From NME, I'm not going to go through all of these, but there's Mr. Pittsburgh's "If You Want Blood" is on
Yep,
there.
yep.
Diamond Dogs.
I can see that one, yeah.
This is
It's
weird.
weird.
I never knew about this album by Weezer. Everything will be all right in the end. It's got.
I've never seen
What
that.
is that?
It looks like a.
Yeah, that's.
I don't
really
know.
bizarre. This David Byrne and St. Vincent. That's some strange.
That's very.
That's creepy.
Yes.
I would say call it creepy. There's Goat's Head. Let's see. There's some.
That one's weird.
Yeah, Reproduction by Human League. It looks like they're celebrating kind of the Beatles thing with the baby
Right,
dolls, except yeah. Check it
That's
out.
kinda
There's
weird.
a Killers by
That doesn't-
Iron Maiden.
I think that's
I think
fantastic.
that maybe at the time people
We're so
probably
used to
Could
it
be,
now.
yeah.
You know.
I love Eddie.
I love Eddie. There's some Kanye West album
No.
on here. Is Massive Attack, Mezzanine. That's like. I think that's some kind of Beetle, but
It looks
the way
like
it's
it, yeah.
the way it's photographed, it looks like it's something that's going to come and fucking cut your
Sure.
goddamn head off.
Right off.
Yeah. Black Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
That's really like. I thought there was a scene in The Conjuring that was trying to like
Emulate
emulate that. I think there's a scene in The Conjuring that I was like suspiciously like. But anyway, there's some honorable mentions. We have show notes with some links and blah blah blah
Blah, blah,
blah 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 blah
Blah, blah,
blah. Anybody got a new and notable?
I have a quick one. I just have to pull it up because I was super lazy and
pull it out.
hungover
When in doubt,
at
pull
work
it out.
today
Pull it out.
because I'm hungover. Oh, Skid Row's new album
Oh.
just released. It's called The Gang's All Here. It's very old school sounding Skid Row. The Gang's All Here is the single. Go check it out. Literally was released this month. I like it. I can't remember the name of the new singer. Let me find it on here real quick.
He's only been with them like 10 years. He's the new singer.
Yeah, the newer singer. Where is it at on here? Blah, 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 blah. Eric Grunwald, formerly of Heat. So
I heard they're pretty hot.
I see what you did.
I'm going to check it out. I love Skid Row. So what do you got, Mr. Pitt? You got anything, Mr.
So a little update there. A couple of weeks ago, I mentioned Thunder Mother. Remember them?
Yeah.
They're opening for Scorpions and stuff. They are now being played on Pittsburgh radio.
Good.
Nice.
I'm like, yes.
Yay!
I don't want to say it's because of my pick for new and notable. I'm not going to go that far, but I was very happy to hear them today.
Real quick, we talked about Uriah Heep. Michael Nolan just put out a video in the past week or so about Uriah Heep, and you'll learn a lot about the band, and you might get interested in them. The first couple, they did some albums where they used the same artist to do the album covers as Yes did.
Oh, okay.
And some people thought for a while that Uriah Heep, and yet maybe like Uriah Heep was like a side project of Yes or something like that. You said, yeah. In any case, so check that out.
That's cool.
Now, before we do this day and what the Beatles did, Kevin and I did this a few weeks ago when you weren't here.
Okay.
Really. And this is a really
this is
fun
cool. Yeah.
website. It's called top40weekly.com. So you can pick any year and any week
Yes.
to find out what the top 40 was that. So we're going to go back. We're going to go the 1980s. We're not going to do a whole bunch of them. But so we're going to go to 1980s. I'm going to just do it. You want to do 81?
Yes.
All right.
Go like 1981.
Here we go.
Okay, and we want for this week right here, which is the week of October, what?
Today's the 18th.
Today's 18.
18th, 17th, 18th. Okay, so like that. So we'd be up there. Okay, right
perfect.
there. Perfect.
There we go, Liz.
Okay. So
Nice.
these are the top 40 singles.
Yeah.
The number one song in the land. Wait. We'll do a top 10. We'll go 10 to
Yeah,
1.
there you go.
Okay.
That
Okay.
sounds good.
So number 10
Wow.
was Night Owls by the Little
Little
River
River Band. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Remember that one? Hard to Say by Dan Fogelberg.
Yes,
Nice.
the late great
Yeah,
Dan.
yeah.
Yes.
Who's Crying Now by
Oh,
Joining?
Yoiny. Yes, Yoiny.
That was number 8. Number 7 is Stop Dragging My Heart
Stop
Around.
it.
I love that
This
song.
was such a thing.
Yeah.
Stevie Nicks and they were both
Dude,
big rock
they're like,
stars.
wow.
Yeah, and
She stalked him out to do this song.
they the record label said we can't have 2 Tom Petty and Heartbreaker songs in the top 10.
Yeah.
So they did something where they didn't. His other song got like in other words, he knocked his own song out of the top 10.
Yeah.
is what he did with this. That's how the story goes. Private Eyes by Hall & Oates. Step by Step by Eddie Rabbit.
Wow.
Wow, he was hot for a couple
Yeah.
minutes. For Your Eyes Only from the James Bond movie by
Sheena Easton.
Sheena. James Bond movie with Sheena Easton. Did
Sure.
the song. Start Me Up by the
There
Rolling
you go.
Stones, man. This is one of the first videos I became familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was on. Did Solid Gold occasionally play a video?
I don't think so.
They never did it.
No.
Okay, I saw it some. Maybe it was.
This is a great video because I've
Friday
never.
night videos, maybe.
It probably, but it was great because the interplay between Bill and Charlie. Like they're both like the other guys are like jumping around and stuff, and then they cut the Bill and he would just kind of look over at Charlie, and Charlie just like, whatever.
Yeah, Charlie Watts
I
has
thought that was the
like,
coolest
like,
thing.
You said to me one time when we were in high school that Charlie Watts is the most bored-looking drummer
Right.
in music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Endless Love by Diana Ross and Lionel Richie. These things were a thing, these kind of duets, and they're going on now. You have all this, so-and-so featuring so-and-so.
Yeah,
It's
that's huge.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. People love shit like that. And number 1.
This is awesome.
Number 1.
Arthur's Theme, The Best That You Can Do by Christopher Cross. It was
know.
released on the Warner Brothers label.
Yeah.
And it was 10 to... it got... I think it went from...
So
They're trying to say that it was...
10 to 1.
Are they
It went
saying
from
there was
10?
10 weeks at number 1? Oh,
We don't.
1 week at... Oh, it was 1 week at number 1. Okay. All right. I don't completely understand all of it. But anyway, so that is... fun, but just kind of perusing through. Remember Urgent by Foreigner?
Sure, Foreigner. Yeah, sure.
Hold On Tight to Your Dreams by ELO is on it. Queen of Hearts by Juice Newton.
Juice Newton.
Physical by Olivia Newton-John.
Yes.
Barry Manilow had a song.
Wow.
I mean, what an eclectic sort of mix
Yeah,
of stuff,
yeah.
you know?
Well, that's the way it was back in the day.
Yeah, really. Debuts. Why Do Fools Fall in Love by Diana. Young Turks by Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart. Wow.
You know, these are songs that are just popping, kind of making their way up, you know. Harden My Heart by Quarter Flash. Yeah.
Wow.
Some of these I don't know. Poor Man's Son by Survivor. That probably didn't go very high.
Didn't go very high.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. So I think that was fun. Pablo Cruz has a song on there.
Wow.
What a good year.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I wasn't born yet in October of that year, but that's okay.
You're on your way.
I was cooking.
Yeah, you were.
Number 48 was Promises in the Dark by Pat Benatar, and Heavy Metal was by Don Felder.
Yeah,
43.
that's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's fun to kind of
Very
take a look
cool.
back. I found this. So I think we're gonna make that a regular thing because it's kind of
that's
fun
a lot of
to
fun.
see.
Like, I remember that.
Okay, so now it's time for everybody's favorite. This day in what the Beatles did.
Here we go. Strap
What
in.
did the Beatles do today? Am I in the where am I? Did I
Yeah,
screw that? Did I get down to birthdays already? Where am I?
No, I don't think so.
No. They changed
You
their
all-
thing on
I
me.
I do not like
Every
the new
week they
layout.
change
I did it for like
them
5
sons of
years,
bitches.
like with one thing, and then they changed stuff. And
Just keeping your mind sharp.
okay.
All right, here we go.
All right, we had to go back to the beginning. This day on 1956, on this day, 21-year-old Elvis Presley
so
pulled
young.
into a Memphis gas station where he started to attract a small crowd of autograph seekers. After repeatedly asking Elvis to move on so he could resume normal business, station manager Ed Hopper slapped Presley on the head and found himself on the receiving end of a punch in the face from Elvis.
That's right, man.
Station employee Aubrey Brown tried to help his boss, but was no match for Presley. After police are called, Hopper and Brown are charged with assault and were fined $25 and $15 respectively.
Don't fuck with the king.
The king duking it out. You know, that's
rock and roll.
That's
That's
rock
fun.
and roll, as Sean Cassidy said. That's rock and roll.
1957, Paul McCartney made his first appearance with the Quarrymen at the new Clubmoor Hall, Norris Green, Liverpool. The lineup for the Quarrymen was John Lennon, Paul McCartney, Eric Griffiths, Colin Hanton, and Len Gary. Paul played John some songs that he had composed with Lennon, which Lennon contributes, marking the birth of the Lennon and McCartney songwriting partnership.
There you go. 1957.
Long ass time ago.
And the rest, as they say, was history.
It's history.
There we
Hey,
go.
on this day in 1964, guess what the Beatles did? Taking a day off from their British tour, the Beatles went into the studio.
Okay, stop for just a second. Like, I thought that was the story.
Yeah.
The Beatles took a
They
day
took
off.
a day
today.
off, but no, they took a day off
But-
to do
but they
something.
did something, so check it out.
So they completed the recording of 6 album tracks and the A side of their next single, I Feel Fine. They also completed 8 Days a Week, Kansas City, Hey, 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 Mr. Moonlight, I'll Follow the Sun, Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby, Rock and Roll Music, and Words of Love.
Okay, so this is what they do
On their day
on their
off.
fucking day. That's why they're the goddamn Beatles.
Yep, that's why
I
they
mean, there's
win.
some heavy hitters in 8
Yeah.
days a week. Man, that's a major. Fuck, I'll Follow the Sun. That was a big song. Rock and Roll
I
Music
love
was
rock and roll
a
music.
big hit. Damn. God damn. This day, 1966, the Jimi Hendrix Experience played their first gig as a band supporting French pop star Johnny Hallyday at the Paris Olympia in France. Interesting story about Jimmy. Like, wasn't getting it off the ground in America.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to England, and
Next thing you know.
the stuff starts working for him.
1967, the Bee Gees were at number 1 on the UK singles chart with Massachusetts, the group's first of the 5 UK number 1s. Engelbert Humperdinck was at number 2 with The Last Waltz, and Traffic were at number 3 with A Hole in My Shoe.
I got a hole in my shoe.
I don't think that was the actual
I don't know. that
words of
song.
the song. Anyway, this day, 1967, "Ode to Billy Joe," the debut album by Bobby Gentry, was at #1 on the U.S. chart. It was the only album to displace the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band from its 15-week reign at the top of the Billboard 200 album chart. The recording of the track Ode to Billy, of the title track, Ode to Billy Joe, generated 8 Grammy nominations, resulting in 3 wins for Gentry and 1 win for arranger Jimmy Haskell.
Jimmy Haskell was a very prominent arranger at that time. This young woman is very interesting. She wrote that song. In fact, she wrote all the songs, and she played. That's her playing the guitar on that.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she was really talented, and I don't know really what else she did, but this is her claim to fame: is she knocked Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band off the number one.
Good job, Bobby.
The top of the charts there. Speaking of the Beatles,
Sure.
this day in 1968, John and Yoko were taken to Paddington Green Police Station and charged with obstruction after cannabis was discovered at the apartment they were staying in. Lennon pleaded guilty the following month and was fined £150.
Wow. Rebels.
1969. Wow. Anyway, the Temptations scored
Were you
their
waiting for
second.
us?
Yeah, I was. U.S. number
We like
one.
to switch it up every now and again and mess with your head.
Apparently, the Temptations scored their second U.S. #1 single with "Can't Get Next to You" and a number 13 hit in the UK.
Yeah?
There you go.
The Temptations, man. Whew. You want to talk about the Reverend?
Sure, why not? This day, 1974, Al Green was taking a shower at his Memphis home when his ex-girlfriend, Mary Woodson, burst in and poured boiling hot grit over him.
Hot grit or hot grits?
Hot grit.
Okay.
There's only one.
There's only one
There's
grit.
only one, so it wasn't
She
too
took
bad.
one grit and poured it on him.
Now here's the bad part. She then shot herself dead. Green suffered second-degree burns. Imagine if it was grits. That he would have been worse.
Wow.
And she might be still alive. I don't know.
What a fucking crazy
Hey,
story.
fucker!
Here's a grit.
What the heck?
I couldn't make all the grits. There's some in the pot for you later. Here's a grit.
Exactly, Bones.
What the hell is wrong with people? Nice day in 1974, Sweet Sensation TV talent contest winner Sweet Sensation were at #1 on the UK singles charts with Sad Sweet Dreamer, their only UK #1 hit. And why do we give a shit?
We don't give a shit.
But I think we should talk about this, Miss Lily.
1979, Buggles were at #1 on the UK singles chart with Video Killed the Radio Star, a studio band featuring producer Trevor Horn. Famously, it was the first ever music video shown on MTV in North America.
That's right. Oh, I felt good. What was the second?
I actually don't know.
It was Pat Benatar, You Better Run.
Nice.
What was the
What
third?
was the third?
Listen,
I don't give a shit, man. After Pat Benatar, it's all down.
The
It's all done.
Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams, I don't know.
I can't.
Speaking of the Eurythmics.
Oh, well, look, see?
Go ahead. Oh, you want me to do it? I'll do it.
Oh, we can both.
Go ahead.
No, we're not going to both do it.
no.
That's too sexy.
cross the streams, guys.
On this day, in 1981, Dave Stewart and Barbara Gaskin were at #1 on the UK singles chart with their version of the Quincy Jones-produced 1963 Leslie Gore hit, It's My Panty. Party. Sorry about
Panty.
that. Sorry about that.
It's my panty, and you better put them back.
Oh boy.
Okay. 1986, Nick Berry. I thought it was Nick Perry, you know.
Oh, yes.
But Nick Berry, EastEnders TV actor Nick Berry, was at #1 on the UK singles chart with Every Loser Wins. He played a barman in Simon Wicks in the TV show. It also gave the BBC Records its first ever UK #1 single. So this is some bizarre
Oh, here's one for Lily.
nothing from that we should be
Rocker
talking about.
roller.
And I apologize. Lord, I apologize.
1989. During a gig at the Los Angeles Coliseum, California, Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose announced that this would be the last Guns N' Roses concert unless the band members got their shit together.
Oh.
He was referring to their use of heroin.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Well, you know, these things happen.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be rock and roll
Without
without
the
those
drugs.
types of things.
Exactly.
Like, but I mean, without these like kind of like stories, like stuff like that, like this fucking like
That's fine.
you know crazy shit.
The next one's stupid. Go on. Somebody was interviewed
He
by
said no.
somebody else. Who cares? All right, here we go. Maybe. In this day, in 2000, American singer and actress Julie London died after suffering a stroke. She scored the 1956 U.S. number 9 and UK number 2 singles, Crimea River, single. So if it was singles, it would be plural. and it would be
Featured in the
singles.
'56 film "The Girl Can't Help It." Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. She recorded 32 albums during her career, played the musical role, I remember this, played the role of nurse, why can't I read?
It's okay.
Nurse Dixie McCall, not to be confused with Dixie Normus, in the television series Emergency. Remember Emergency?
I loved Emergency.
She was so hot back in the
Man,
day.
I loved Emergency.
Yes. Ooh, just like that.
I got Emergency right now.
Dixie
It's called the Ronettes.
Yeah.
After a 15-year court battle, New York State's highest court ruled that the Ronettes did not have the right to share the money earned by their producer, Phil Spector,
What?
through the use of the group's songs in movies, television, and advertising. Citing a 1963 contract signed by the group,
I get you.
the court also substantially reduced the amount they stood to gain from royalties
that
and sales
sucks.
of records
Oh.
and compact discs. So talk about like, you know, yeah, just to, like, you know, not leaving well enough alone.
Yep. Yep.
That was like, don't fuck with the Spectre. Didn't he end up blowing somebody away?
Yeah.
Lana.
Well, so don't fuck around with Phil Spector. I mean, he was telling you back then, don't fuck with me.
I'll shoot you.
2005, Madonna admitted that she wrote a groveling letter to ABBA asking if she could sample their music on her latest single, Hung Up. The singer had to seek permission to sample Gimme 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 and became only the second act that ABBA has allowed to sample their work. The Fugees used part of the name of the game on their 1996 track Rumble in the Jungle.
Yeah, that was a thing, sampling. Like, I remember that was just kind of coming out. And, you know, Midge Ure?
No.
Mr. Pittsburgh, Midge Ure Midge Ure is a musician who's like played with a lot of different people. And he's the what did he do today? He did something today. He wore a kilt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wore a kilt today. So
Fascinating.
yeah. So, but
He
he's
wore
a
a kilt
British
today.
musician.
That's
He's
great.
worked with a lot of different people, Queen, a bunch of different folks.
Glad you worked.
And the Spice Girls U.S. Record label announced that their forthcoming Greatest Hits album, 2007,
God.
would be made available exclusively
I remember
at the
that.
lingerie chain
here
Victoria's
to get
Secret
the
shops
album.
in the U.S. 2 months ahead of other outlets.
Here to get the album
So,
I remember
know.
that.
and then Amy Winehouse was arrested this day in
There's somebody new.
2007. And so I don't want to talk about any of these other people or any of these
Get to
other
the birthdays.
It's a hefty birthday
Oh,
day.
would you look at that one?
Oh, Buck Cherry.
It's not, no.
Buck
no.
Cherry's birthday.
Lou, no, it's not Buck Cherry. We-
Chuck Berry.
That's who it is.
King of rock and roll in my book.
Yes.
Born this day in 1926.
Happy birthday.
Ronnie Bright from the Coasters. Laura Nero.
Nairo.
I was called Nero.
It's Nairo.
Are you sure?
I'm 100%
I thought I've heard it pronounced Laura Nero.
Wow.
I didn't call her Laura Negro. I said
No.
Laura Nero.
Come on now.
Quit putting words in my mouth.
Don't put those in his mouth.
Lily made me say it.
You didn't say, no.
She did.
I did not make
Right?
you say
So
it.
I had to clarify right there. Joe
Freak.
Egan,
Oh,
Steelers
yeah.
Will.
Yeah.
Gary
There he
Richrath.
is. The man, the myth.
Gary Richrath from REO Chuckwagon,
Chuckwagon.
Speedwagon, yes.
Oh.
Amazing guitar player. Keith Hudson.
No, Knudsen.
Knudsen.
Knudsen. Knudsen. From the
He's
Doobie
a Doobie
Brothers.
Brother.
Yeah, he's a Doobie Brother.
He's a brother who uses doobies.
Doobie Wah.
Dick Crippen, Mark Morris from the Blue Toes,
Yes, sir.
Peter Svensson,
Yeah, yeah.
from the Swedish rock band The
The
Cardigans.
cardigans, yeah. No, it's a pullover, but thank you for noticing.
Thank you. Oh, ow. Oh, pronounce this? Oh, no. Well, all right. Who cares?
And Zac Efron was born in the same 1980s.
How about that?
Okay, so I was we're about ready to get the hit the highway here, but
Oh, Loudini.
speaking of
Yes.
well, not speaking of anything actually.
Good.
The I rewatched the 1989 or 1990 Pet Sematary,
Yeah.
Sure. How'd that go?
and I always forget when I watch that movie that the end there's the song is by the Ramones.
Ramones,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Pet Cemetery.
I love that song.
and it's a really good song. It's kind of it's them for sure, but it has this great sort of haunting melody.
Yeah.
It's really nice, really nice.
It's a good song.
So Lily V6, what do you do again on Thursdays? What's happening again?
I have a whole show.
A whole
called
show?
Hot Licks with Lily 6.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wow.
It licks the hole. What? A whole show about
Yes,
licking?
all the holes. Anyway, 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
There it is.
Images of Eden will be on, being interviewed.
Nice.
Nice. That sounds great. Okay.
That's it.
Go
All
check
right.
out Wolf's Customs on
Wolfie.
social media and Wolf's Customs on online to get
Yes.
hooked up to get custom finished on your musical instrument.
Your musical instrument.
RockRageRadio.com. Download the app so you can hear great music programming 24/7. It's totally free. And please check us out at Loudini, rockandrollcircus.com. We had a really good time today, and real quick, let me go ahead and give you guys the
Little sneaky peek?
the sneaky peeky
Little
of the
sneaky
Peaky
peek?
Sneaks. So next week is
24?
24.
Oh, my.
The 10 spookiest classic rock songs of all time.
Okay, I like that one.
So there's just certain songs
Oh,
that
I've
have
already got a couple in
that
my head.
evoke a kind of creepy. I'm not now.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like flying, like
Right,
Purple
the-
People
the
Eater and the Monster
parodies
Mash
and
like
goofy
some
songs.
Right.
songs that can make you go like, ooh, like, that's
yeah,
kinda,
that
like
is
freaky.
kinda-
What's going on there? So yeah, so that's going to be next week. Until then, my friends, have a wonderful week. Keep listening to great music, and we'll catch you all on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
That was a nice song. I remember my mom used to play that for me. I was a small child on a bassinet.
Poop shoot. Well, no, I'm glad thing I wrote it. Poop shit in the shits.
Yep.
Poop shoot in the shits.
That's wonderful.
Wow. Okay, I turned the stream off, Loudini.
Yep, don't forget.
Streaming for